We're going to learn Maseches Berachos, Perek, Beis, Mishnah, Gimel. This Mishnah has 4 parts. The first part speaks about someone who reads the Shema, articulates the words with his mouth, but didn't read it loud enough for him to hear it with his ears. So the Tanakama says, since he said the words, he articulated them, Yatsa, he fulfilled his obligation. However, Rabbi Yossi argues and says that Lo Yatsa, he did not fulfill his obligation because he didn't hear it. The second part of the Mishnah speaks about someone who read the Shema, but was not precise to articulate all of the letters clearly. There are many words in Shema where there's a specific letter at the end of a word, which that same letter is used to begin the next word. For example, we have the words B'chal Levavcha. The last letter of the word B'chal is a Lamed. The first letter of the following word Levavcha is a Lamed. And if a person is not careful to divide these 2 words, he might read them and it might appear like he's reading one long word. So what happens if a person read the Shema and wasn't careful to separate these words? So Rabbi Yossi says Yatsa, he's fulfilled his obligation. However, Rabbi Yehuda argues and says, Lo Yatsa, he did not fulfill his obligation and he has to read the Shema again. The third part of this Mishnah discusses someone who reads the Shema backwards. For example, when reading the first paragraph of Shema, they first read the third pasuk, then they read the second pasuk, then they read the first pasuk. So if someone were to do that, Lo Yatsa, they did not fulfill their obligation. And the fourth and final part of the Mishnah discusses what happens if a person was reading the Shema and they made a mistake. For example, they skipped over a few words, or they skipped over a pasuk. So says our Mishnah that they have to go back to the beginning of the pasuk where they made a mistake. Now let's say someone doesn't know exactly where in the paragraph they made a mistake. So then they have to go back to the beginning of the paragraph. And if they don't know which paragraph they made a mistake in, then they have to go back to the beginning of the first paragraph. We're now going to read the Mishnah inside. Says the first part of the Mishnah. The Tanakama says, Hakoire es Shema, one who reads Shema, V'lo hishmiya, and did not make it be heard, La'azni, to his ear, Yatsa, he has fulfilled his obligation. However, Rabbi Yossi says, Lo Yatsa, he has not fulfilled his obligation. The second part of the Mishnah, Kara, if one read Shema, V'lo diktek, and he was not precise, but oisi oiseha, with separating its letters, Rabbi Yossi Omer Yatsa. Rabbi Yossi says he has fulfilled his obligation. Rabbi Yehuda says, Lo Yatsa, he has not fulfilled his obligation. The third part of the Mishnah, Hakoire lemafreya, one who reads Shema backwards, he reads the psukim backwards out of order. Lo Yatsa, he has not fulfilled his obligation. The fourth and final part of the Mishnah, Kara, if one read Shema, Vitaha, and he made a mistake, he skipped a few words, he skipped a pasuk, Yachzer, he must go back, Lamakim, to the place, Shetaha, where he made the mistake.